Hey guys, Angry Beast here, bringing you some domination gameplay on the map Upheaval using MP40 with the flash suppressor, or flash hider or suppressor, one of the two. I can't remember. They're pretty much the same thing in this game, except the suppressor has a better suppression rate than the flash hider. But this is a little game that I got here running around the MP40, and the MP40 is one of those weapons that has very infamous in Call of Duty history. Personally, I never found this weapon to be overpowered unless you use it in one specific setup. But it's one of those weapons that really doesn't fit the paradigm of any other weapon in the game, simply because it's fully automatic. It shoots at 530 rounds per minute. It's a 2-hit kill up close and a 4-hit kill at a distance, and so it doesn't need stopping power to be effective at all, really. So it's got a lot of advantages that no other submachine gun can really say. But the thing that really made it overpowering to me is when people ran it with the dual mags in Juggernaut. It was even worse when they ran it with stopping power, but at least with Juggernaut you could kill them. If they had got a lucky headshot with a stopping power, then you were pretty much screwed. I mean, there wasn't anything you can do there. I don't know how that guy didn't die there, by the way, but if they ran it with stopping power, you were pretty much screwed because they picked up one lucky headshot and you were instantly dead. And to have a submachine gun that can instant kill to the head is a little bit ridiculous to me, but there isn't too much you can do about it. So if I'm going to use it, I'm going to use it with the suppressor, which will decrease my range so that I can't get as many 2-hit kills, and I'll use it with camouflage. I feel like that makes it a little bit less of a douchey gun, so to speak, because it is kind of frustrating. We got its whole team is running up against you with MP40s, and right there just shows the power. I killed the one guy. The second guy starts shooting, but I snap onto him quick enough to kill him before he can fire his bullets into me to kill me. One of the most important advantages the MP40 has is it's not needing of stopping power. I just said that stopping power makes this weapon overpowered because of the lucky headshot factor. But when you consider it, you don't get too many headshots in this game. It's not really overpowered, so to speak. It's more of an annoying thing that happens, so it's just one of those things where you don't need stopping power, and that's why this weapon is so much used with Juggernaut. I have no clue what that guy was trying to run behind the bookshelf for. I don't know if there's like a secret room or something back there. In fact, I didn't even know that you could go behind the freaking wall there, but as you'll see right here, the number one advantage of the MP40 in my eyes is the fact that it does not need Bandolier. You can run it with any first-tier perk you want, because guess what? Everybody runs the MP40, so you're never going to run out of ammo with this thing. Right here, I pick up a dual mags one. This was another thing that made it very frustrating. The fact that it's fully automatic, it fires at 530 rounds per minute, and it has a 64-round magazine, which I believe is the largest in the game, except for the MG42, is absolutely crazy. The fact that I get fully automatic fire, submachine gun move speed, 64 rounds of just constant 2-hit kills up close, which is where you should be using the MP40 anyway, and pretty good hip fire with steady aim, really is what put this weapon over the top for a lot of people. Now, personally, I don't find the hip fire to be that ridiculous on this weapon. It's not like the PP90, which has such a high rate of fire that there's nothing you can do in close quarters against it, but still, it's one of those weapons where you can really destroy a person just because you're using it. Doesn't take that much skill to use. Its only real disadvantages are its average to low fire rate. I mean, it's got about the fire rate as a rifle if you're firing it fully automatic, like trying to fire it fully automatic with a trigger finger. That's about the average rate of fire a person can pull. I can pull a little bit faster than that, but not too much. So it's about 530 rounds per minute. And the thing of it is that when you do run it with stopping powers, you get that one hit kill, you get 530 rounds per minute. You can have dual mags, push it up to 64 rounds per minute. You can run it with steady aim at the same time, and you have great hip fire. And 530 rounds per minute for 2-hit kills leads to one of the fastest killing weapons of the game without stopping power. Now, if you put stopping power in the mix, there are other submachine guns that'll kill faster. Type 100 and I believe the Thompson can both kill faster than this with stopping power. But just the fact that this weapon is a valid choice without stopping power is very interesting to me. A perk choice that's amazing on this weapon is double tap, especially when you combine it with the extended mags or dual mags, whatever they call it on this weapon. I'm just going to call it extended mags because dual mags to me is just a thing from Black Ops, but when you put the extended mag on this double tap and steady aim, you have probably the most effective close CQC weapon in the game, because I think double tap puts its rate of fire somewhere up close to like 600 rounds from 650, somewhere around the rounds per minute, and it's just ridiculous. But I'm gonna end my rant there and just talk about some things that make the MP40 bad. First of which that makes it really bad is its low fire rate, as I said it already. That doesn't exactly make it bad, it just makes it worse in close quarters, and some other submachine guns like the Thompson will beat it out in a head-on-head gunfight. Generally speaking, the Thompson's going to win in CQC, unless you're using stopping power and get that lucky headshot. So the lower to fire is a bad thing, but also a good thing because it helps you conserve your ammunition. But then again, like I said, there's no need to really do that because everybody uses it. It's always on the ground. Another bad thing about the MP40 is that it has terrible recoil. I think it has the worst recoil of any submachine gun we've ever seen in Call of Duty ever. But that's countered by the fact that you get the 2-hit kill up close for free, and you have a great amount of ammo at your disposal because everybody uses it, and it's got a really good center speed as well. It's mostly visual recoil, to be honest, but when you take that into consideration, it's a very, very powerful weapon that you should not just take for granted. Oh, this guy was completely oblivious to me. I was able to call in an artillery right behind his back and take him out. At this point, though, the game is a close game. We got dominated early on in the game, but we do end up winning the game. We come back from a deficit we had early on in the game, and I fall through the map due to my own artillery strike. My perks in this game are Camouflage, Bouncing Betty, and Steady Aim. I think I already talked about Steady Aim already, but Steady Aim on a submachine gun is pretty much a non-option to me. Unfortunately, there it doesn't work out for me, but I find that because the recoil on the MP40 is so bad, well, not exactly bad, but it can be frustrating at times, I'll just hip fire it because there's no freaking recoil hip fired in this game for whatever reason. I don't think there's any weapon besides the light machine guns that really have any noticeable recoil when hip fired, which is a good and a bad thing. I mean, it allows the rifles to be effectively hip fired, but it also means that weapons like the MP40 can be crazy from the hip. But I'm using the Bouncing Betties because I feel like those give this weapon a little bit extra. Well, because you're rushing, and I don't have Bandolier unlocked, and not many people actually do run the Bouncing Betties from what I've seen. So Bomb Squad doesn't help you that much. I mean, you'll find that a random camper who just sits up in a corner with his Bouncing Betty. So Bomb Squad isn't an option, really. Bazookas will just slow you down. You don't need the extra grenades, so I'd say those are out of the picture. That leaves a Bandolier and Bouncing Betties. I think Bouncing Betties really complement a rushing playstyle as well as a defensive one because you can slap it down in a high trafficked area and basically get a free kill to build up to your kill streak later on. And I've had it multiple times lead to my dog because I was able to leverage my Bouncing Betties to my advantage. Another disadvantage using MP40s you saw right there is it has no penetration. That's a very good thing in my opinion. It makes this weapon isn't all powerful. There's a lot of cover on maps like this where the MP40 will just fail you because it has the lowest penetration rate in the game. And stuff like that has changed throughout the Call of Duty. So like in 1.043, I believe the UMP has assault rifle penetration. And there is no difference in the other Call of Duties between light machine gun penetration and assault rifle penetration. I think that's a bad thing. I think this game got penetration right. It should be different for every class of weapon. Shotguns and submachine guns have next to no penetration. I think they can actually shoot through wood, but that's about it. And the other thing that you find about the MP40 is that there's only 2 class setups that are really used. It has some of the best irons in the game, so you never see the aperture sight used. I would not recommend the aperture sight for any logical situation. You'll find the dual magazines Juggernaut MP40, and you'll find the camouflage suppressed MP40. Personally, I like the camouflage version better for reasons stated before. The stealth benefit is very, very important in a game like this because if you have the stealth in a class like this, nobody really uses the stealth perks in older games like this because there's stopping power to consider. Nobody really wants to give up a 2-hit kill with their weapon if they don't have to. So if I can have the stealth advantage with the weapon that's fully automatic, has a great magazine capacity. I've talked about it all before, but if I can have the fully automatic fire as well as being off the radar, it's a big advantage in this game. I can stay in a position like this where he had no clue I was there. I just killed his teammate 2 inches from him, and he didn't know I was there. Same thing with this guy. I think there's a guy who follows him, but it's just one of those things with the stealth advantage in games is very, very underrated in the older games where you have stopping power to compete. So I definitely recommend trying out the camouflage on a weapon like the Type 100 or this, which has pressure over the flash hider. I think the flash hider is a very bad choice for a weapon. If it has a flash hider rather than a suppressor, I would not use that weapon. It's simply because the flash hider just doesn't do much. I mean, it just takes you off the radar. You can still see your tracer bullets, which is a huge part of Call of Duty. I don't know about you guys, but when I see a tracer bullet, it tells me that there's a guy there, more so than a red dot on the radar. Especially if you're playing hardcore, the suppressor means very little compared to the flash hider. I mean, the flash hider is very little, which I actually will jump on hardcore every once in a while. One thing that the Infinity Treyarch, excuse me, did really well with this weapon is that they give it 29 damage at range, not 30 damage. So what that means is that in hardcore you can't get a one-hit kill at range with stopping power, which makes it a good thing because that gives other submachine guns a shot. Because every submachine gun now does a 2-hit kill, except for the PPSH, but does a 2-hit kill at range, which gives it a major advantage over some of the other weapons. Anyways, guys, the gameplay is winding down. I think it ends up being a 42 and a 17. My team somehow comes back from that ridiculous deficit. We get dominated multiple times, but I was able to play the objectives, and we were able to get the win. So it's a win in my book. I would not recommend you go out and use this weapon. I just want to make a commentary over some gameplay, just to talk about how COD developers could sometimes just be a little bit ridiculous in what they do. I mean, this weapon clearly surpasses almost everything else in the game. But, you know, there isn't too much you can do about it, and it's a necessary evil. I mean, if the noobs don't have something they can use, the noobs won't play the game. It's just a fact. I understand why they have weapons like this, like the FAMAS or the Type 95, that just overpower everything else. Ooh, nice penetration kill with the pistol. But it just frustrates me at times. So, overall, this weapon's a good weapon. If you're not having much luck with the game, pull this out. But if you can play pretty well with the game, I would not recommend it. I'm Angry Beast, and I'm signing out, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.